Cecilia glanced at her wristwatch for the third time in the last 5 minutes. It was only 5 minutes until 9, and she was never late for work. In 15 years at the same company, she had built a solid reputation as the most punctual and reliable employee in the finance department. As she walked briskly through the busy downtown streets, Cecilia reflected on her life. At 50, she wasn't rich and famous, but she had something she considered more valuable: her integrity. From a young age, her parents had taught her the value of honesty, and she took this lesson seriously in every aspect of her life. Cecilia couldn't help but think about occasions when her integrity had been tested. She remembered when she found a wallet full of money on the street and made sure to return it to the owner. Her friends had called her foolish, saying she should have kept the money, but Cecilia knew she couldn't live with a guilty conscience. Upon reaching the company building, Cecilia greeted the doorman with a warm smile. "Good morning, Mr. Jorge. How's your family?" The doorman returned the smile. "Good morning, Mrs. Cecilia. Everyone's fine, thank God. And you, always punctual, eh?" Cecilia laughed. "As always, Mr. Jorge. Have a great day." In the elevator, Cecilia ran into one of her colleagues. "Hi, Cecilia. Ready for another day of numbers and reports?" "Always, Mari. You know I love what I do," Cecilia responded enthusiastically. Arriving at her desk, Cecilia turned on her computer and began organizing her tasks for the day. She was known for her meticulousness with numbers and the accuracy of her reports. Her colleagues often joked that she could find a missing penny in $1,000,000 report. As she worked, Cecilia couldn't help but notice that her boss, Jason, was acting strangely. He seemed nervous and restless, frequently glancing in her direction. Jason had never been particularly friendly with Cecilia, often criticizing her excessive rigidity with rules and procedures. Around 11, Jason approached Cecilia's desk softly. "Cecilia, I need to speak with you. Can you come to my office in 10 minutes? Cecilia nodded, slightly surprised. "Of course, sir. I'll be there." As she was about to head to Jason's office, her colleague Carlos pulled her aside. "Cecilia, wait. I need to talk to you urgently." Carlos seemed agitated and nervously glanced around. "You need to get out of this meeting quickly. He's going to propose something terrible." Before Carlos could explain further, Jason appeared in the hallway. "Cecilia, are you ready? Let's start the meeting." With her heart racing, Cecilia followed Jason to his office, casting a last worried glance at Carlos. Upon entering the office, Cecilia immediately noticed the change in Jason's behavior. He was exceptionally courteous, offering her coffee and asking about her weekend. This only increased Cecilia's feeling of unease. "Cecilia," Jason began with a smile that didn't reach his eyes, "you have been an exemplary employee all these years. Your dedication and attention to detail are admirable." Cecilia thanked him politely but remained alert. Jason continued, lowering his voice to almost a whisper. "That's why I need your help with a delicate matter." He pulled a folder from his drawer and placed it on the table. "We have some adjustments that need to be made in our financial reports. Nothing serious, just some numbers that need to be relocated." Cecilia felt her stomach sink. She knew exactly what Jason was proposing: fraud. "Sir," she began carefully, "what exactly are you asking me to do?" Jason smiled nervously. "Oh, Cecilia, you don't need to be so formal. I'm just asking for your help to correct some numbers. In return, I can guarantee you a significant salary increase and even a promotion." Cecilia felt a wave of indignation within her. She thought of all the times she had been called foolish for doing the right thing. She thought of her parents and the values they had instilled in her. She thought of the reputation she had built over the years. With a firm and clear voice, Cecilia replied, "I'm sorry, sir, but I can't do that. I will not falsify any reports or participate in any illegal activity." Jason's smile instantly disappeared. "Cecilia, I think you don't understand the opportunity I'm offering you. Think carefully. It's a chance to advance your career, to finally be recognized." Cecilia stood up, her determination evident in every word. "Sir, I understand perfectly what you are proposing, and my answer is still no. It doesn't take many acts and proofs of dignity to build a good character, but sometimes a single act is enough to destroy it. I am not willing to compromise my integrity for money or position." Jason turned red with anger. You'll regret this, Cecilia. I was trying to help you, but I see you prefer to remain the same mediocre employee you've always been. Cecilia remained calm, even in the face of the veiled threat. Sir, if being honest and doing my job correctly makes me mediocre in your eyes, then I accept that label with pride. She left Jason's office with her head held high, but inside she was trembling. She knew she had done the right thing, but she also knew the consequences could be serious. In the following weeks, Cecilia felt the pressure increase. Jason began to openly criticize her work, assigning her impossible tasks and unrealistic deadlines. Some colleagues, fearing for their own jobs, began to avoid her. But Cecilia did not give up. She continued doing her work with the same dedication and precision as always. In moments of doubt, she remembered her mother's words. The truth always comes to light, daughter. It may take time, but it comes. One day, while working on a particularly complicated report, Cecilia noticed a strange discrepancy in the numbers. The more she investigated, the more irregularities she found. With a mixture of surprise and sadness, Cecilia realized she had uncovered evidence of an embezzlement scheme within the company. She knew she needed to act, even though she also knew it could cost her her job. After a sleepless night, Cecilia made her decision. The next morning, she gathered all the evidence she had collected and arranged a meeting with the company director. The meeting was long and tense. Cecilia presented her findings with clarity and objectivity, without directly accusing anyone. The director listened attentively, occasionally asking questions and taking notes. At the end of the presentation, the director looked seriously at Cecilia. Mrs. Cecilia, I appreciate your honesty and courage in bringing this to my attention. I can assure you that this matter will be thoroughly investigated. In the following weeks, the company was in turmoil. External auditors were called in, and an internal investigation was launched. Cecilia continued doing her job, ignoring the curious glances and whispers around her. Finally, after a month of investigation, the results were announced. Jason and 2 other executives were fired for their involvement in the embezzlement scheme. The news spread quickly throughout the company, and suddenly Cecilia found herself in the spotlight. Her colleagues, who had previously avoided her, now congratulated her for her courage. Many came to apologize for having doubted her. Cecilia accepted it all gracefully but without fanfare. For her, she had done nothing more than her duty. A week later, Cecilia was called to the director's office. With her heart racing, she entered the room, not knowing what to expect. The director greeted her with a warm smile. Mrs. Cecilia, please have a seat. First of all, I would like to thank you again for your integrity and dedication to the company. Your actions not only saved millions for the company, but also helped us restore our reputation. Cecilia nodded, a little uncomfortable with the praise. Sir, I only did what I thought was right. The director continued. That is precisely why I am here, Mrs. Cecilia. We would like to offer you the position of Chief Financial Officer. We believe that your integrity and experience are exactly what we need to lead our finance department at this crucial time. Cecilia was speechless for a moment. When she finally found her voice, she said, Sir, I am honored by the offer, but I need to ask. This promotion isn't just a thank you for reporting the scheme, is it? The director smiled. No, Mrs. Cecilia. This offer is based on your 15 years of exemplary service, your financial experience, and above all, your unwavering character. We need someone like you to restore faith in our company, both internally and with our clients and partners. With tears in her eyes, Cecilia accepted the offer. As she left the director's office, she was met with applause from her colleagues, who had gathered to celebrate her promotion. That night, when she arrived home, Cecilia reflected on the events of the past few weeks. She thought of all the times her honesty had been questioned or ridiculed. She thought of the pressure she faced and the doubts she had. But above all, she thought of her parents' words resonating in her mind. Character is like a tree and reputation like its shadow. The shadow is what we think of it. The tree is the real thing. Cecilia smiled, knowing she had stayed true to herself and her values. She had demonstrated that integrity, even when tested, is always worthwhile. The next morning, Cecilia woke up renewed, ready to face the challenges of her new position. She knew the road ahead would not be easy, but she was determined to lead by example, showing everyone that honesty and ethics can and should coexist with business success. When she entered the office on her first day as Chief Financial Officer, Cecilia was greeted with respect and admiration. She knew she had a great responsibility ahead of her, but she also knew she had the necessary tools to succeed. Her experience, her dedication, and above all, her unwavering integrity. And so Cecilia began a new chapter in her professional life, carrying with her the lessons she had learned and lived. True success is not measured only by titles or salaries, but by strength of character and the ability to do what is right, even when no one is watching.